think you're probably aware of this, where we would say there's an epidemic of identification with trauma and using that word a little too much, as we all have trauma and we all know that this is a big part of our healing journey. But now I think a lot of times what's happening is that narrative has become so prevalent in the culture. I'd love to hear what you think about maybe the big pharmaceutical companies being tied to this narrative and other incentivization structures being tied to this narrative of everybody almost becomes a victim. And then if you're a victim of your trauma, instead of thinking of it as a part of being a human being and what are the tools and things that we can do to acknowledge and overcome, which is what your work is focused on. But what are some of the issues with what you would call trauma culture, if you want to call it that?
Oh gosh, what a great question. I mean, there's a huge problem with it now. It's now so prevalent, the idea of mental illness, number one. And number two, there's also a big issue of the pharmaceutical industry identifying certain conditions with a name, with a label, and having the patient identify it as a label. And I think there is this over identification with my ADHD, my anxiety, my whatever, my depression, and that is my natural state of being, rather than maybe this is because of that false narrative that I have seen myself as a victim of whatever happened. Because as you say, stuff happens to all of us. It is important to deal with things. My husband talks about the 18 ACEs, adverse childhood events.